So, this is where we live now. Here in the forest of Arden. Living simply off the land, hunting animals and picking wild fruit.
A new way of life since your brother banished you.
Indeed.
Though the forest provides shelter and we have comfy mossy beds to sleep on.
Do you know, I'm actually more content living here than ever.
His brother Duke Frederick was not so content.
My niece is getting too close to Celia. Why didn't I pack her off with my brother?
This is because Celia begged him not to. She wanted her cousin around to play with.
And now they're too familiar. Like sisters.
In truth, Duke Frederick was jealous. He noticed how Rosalind outshone Celia.
Oh, that girl!
She was so confident that Celia was always out of the limelight.
I've had it with her. Next time she makes me mad, even the slightest thing, I'll banish her too. Oh.
Celia and Rosalind went to a village fair, and on the way home they met one of the Duke's courtiers.
Bonjour, madame. Vous avez joué cette ombre?
Parlez-vous anglais?
Oui. Pardon. Hello, ladies. You are just in time. The Duke Frederick's wrestler Charles is challenging people to try to throw him. If they succeed, the Duke will give them 50 ducats. He has already sent 2 challengers away, crying like babies.
Who's next to challenge my wrestler?
Charles is more like an ox than a man.
That is the problem. Nobody will fight Charles, for fear of he will break their necks.
Charles stood in the centre of the circle, enjoying the attention. Celia and Rosalind joined the crowd when suddenly Duke Frederick spotted his daughter and niece.
I'm glad you're here, Celia. I've arranged for a young man to fight my wrestling champion, but one look at Charles, he's ran off. The crowd are desperate for another fight. Can you see if you can talk him into it?
The young man came out of hiding, and immediately Rosalind felt dizzy.
Do you really mean to fight the wrestler?
I will in a minute, my lady. I'm just preparing myself.
I wish you wouldn't. You may get badly injured.
I wish you wouldn't. Also, Charles may ruin your handsome looks. You could be killed.
I'm touched by your concerns, but I need the money. No one will really care if I'm injured or killed anyway.
Rosalind looked sad for the young handsome stranger and was about to speak when a trumpeter blew a fanfare.
Out of the red corner, the challenger known to us as the Stranger. Out of the blue corner, hard-punching local man Charles. Begin!
The 2 men circled the ring. The reigning champion Charles begins by making several lunges, but the stranger successfully dodges his advances like a graceful dancer. The crowd seem in high spirits, urging the stranger along. Charles tries to make a cheeky grab. My goodness, the stranger has just seized Charles around the waist and he's on the ground.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The crowd are going wild.
7, 8, 9, 10. He's out!
Duke Frederick went over to the stranger.
What's your name, young man?
Orlando, my lord, a youngest son of Roland de Boys.
Your late father was my sworn enemy.
He threw the money at Orlando's feet.
Take your money and leave. LeBeau,
My lord?
come with me. But first, get poor Charles to get some medical attention. Celia, come with me.
Celia felt her face, blushing with embarrassment at her father's behaviour, and hurriedly followed him. The rest of the crowd dispersed, leaving Rosalind and Orlando.
I'd like you to have this. My gold chain. When you look at it, perhaps you'll think of me.
My lady.
I knew your father. He was such a lovely man.
Before any more could be said, LeBeau interrupted.
A word, stranger. Why is Sir Roland's son wrestling in the village fair?
I need the money. My brother Oliver refuses to share the inheritance. He chased me away with a sword, said he'd murder me if I'd ever return.
And now you have made an enemy of the Duke Frederick. Your best bet is to leave.
Where should I go?
Go to the forest of Arden. Duke Senior, his brother, he will welcome you.
Orlando turned to speak to Rosalind, but she had gone.
The girl I was speaking to, do you know her?
That was Rosalind, Duke Senior's daughter.
He then left, leaving Orlando in his thoughts. As Orlando set off for the forest, Celia was listening to Rosalind.
You gave him your necklace? You've only just met him.
But I can tell we're meant for each other.
That's it, Rosalind. Leave my house. And if you are found within 20 miles of it, you shall be put to death.
But, Uncle, what have I done?
You were seen talking to the son of my old enemy. My guess is you were plotting to replace me with your father.
I did not.
Father, she would never do this.
You are blinded by your closeness to her, Celia. All this time she's been getting people on her side, whilst people mock you behind your back. Rosalind must leave now, or she'll be put to death.
Duke Frederick left.
My cousin, Father's gone mad. I'll sort this out, I promise.
But until then, I'll keep myself safe and leave and look for my father.
I'm coming too. I'm not staying here with that man any longer. I have enough money saved, but how will manage to go? Two girls won't be safe to travel.
Wear your maid's clothes, Celia, and I'll disguise myself as a man. From now on, you'll be known as Aliena.
How funny. And you shall be Ganymede.
The cousins laughed and left to get ready. In the forest, Duke Senior and his men were eating when Jacques said,
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts.
but he was interrupted by Orlando walking towards them.
Forgive me, gentlemen. I'm looking for Duke Senior.
That would be me. And who are you?
Orlando, my lord, a youngest son of Roland de Boys.
We know who you are. You look just like him.
Come, sit and eat and tell us how you came to be here before Jack starts up with her all this world's a stage speech again.
Nearby, Celia and Rosalind were staying in a cottage.
What if Orlando meets someone else?
He won't.
But I'm pinning my hopes on him. I don't even know if he likes me.
Don't give up hope, Rosalind. If it's meant to be, love will find its way. Come on, let's go for a walk.
The girls linked arms and walked into the forest. They heard a noise and cautiously looked in the bushes. There in front of them was Orlando writing a letter to someone.
When through the treetops blows the wind, it speaks the name of Rosalind.
Love poem?
What's it to do with you?
I'm Ganymede, and this is my sister Aliena.
We live in a cottage over the hill.
So, who is this Rosalind you're speaking about?
The girl I fancy, she gave me this chain.
As if you fancy her.
What would a boy like you know? It pains me to be away from her.
I know enough. Listen, I can cure you.
I don't want to be cured.
Yet, you're wasting your days thinking about Rosalind instead of going about your business. Follow us.
Orlando looked confused but agreed to follow the brother and sister to the cottage.
This is where we're staying.
And where you'll be working. Chop chop.
Still dressed as Ganymede, Rosalind started ordering Orlando around. Every time she shouted, Orlando had to reply with a
Yes, my sweet Rosalind.
And still dressed as Ganymede, Rosalind would reply in a nasty tone.
I'm not your Rosalind.
This carried on for a while. Orlando didn't know he was being tricked by her.
I need to go now, Ganymede. I mean Rosalind. Duke Senior asked me to have dinner with him.
Wait, Uncle, Duke Senior is nearby.
Yes. Permission to leave, sweet Rosalind.
Be back at 2 o'clock and don't be late.
The two girls, still dressed in their disguises, watched as Orlando walked away.
Are you Alina?
Yes.
I suppose that boy over there is Ganymede.
Yes, that's correct. Ganymede is trying to stop Orlando from falling in love with Rosalind by being nasty.
My brother Orlando wanted me to stop by to explain how he didn't come at the agreed time. This morning, a lioness nearly pounced on me. Without knowing who I was and not a second thought of his own safety, Orlando wrestled the beast and chased it away.
What happened to him? What happened to him?
Now that Orlando has saved me from death, my quarrel is over and he can share the inheritance.
But what about Orlando?
He was attacked by the lioness. Well, he's okay, but he's been patched up as I speak.
Rosalind, still dressed as Ganymede, raced off. She called over her shoulder,
Diana, bring Rosalind's best dress and meet me at the chapel. Oliver, ask your brother to meet us all there too.
Celia and Oliver looked at each other.
This is all so strange, Alina.
Indeed, young sir.
Shall we walk together?
After getting Rosalind's dress, the pair walked together arm in arm. The chapel was full of people, all wondering why they were called there. Orlando laughed at Rosalind's trick, and Oliver was too bemused to learn that Alina, who he'd grown fond of, was actually Celia, Rosalind's cousin. Just then, Le Beau arrived.
Bonjour, my lord. The Duke Frederick. He came to the forest last night. He meant to track you down and to kill you. Instead, he met with a holy man who told him that it was wrong.
And as a result, dear brother, I give you back your title and your estate. I myself am going to join a monastery.
I think I'll join you. It's far too happy here for my liking.
Celebrations filled the air. Everyone joined in with the laughter, dancing, and singing.